Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2026 related video here on my channel, and today I am going to be briefly reviewing the second semi-final, previewing the grand final, and telling you my very rough prediction for the grand final results of the Eurovision Song Contest 2026, which has been taking place this week in Vienna, Austria. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. I am filming this video you're watching now not long after the conclusion of the second semi-final. I just want to get this video out of the way. Tomorrow is a fairly busy day for me anyway, and the sooner I get it sorted, the better. I am going to try and be fairly snappy with this, and I will begin by going through the second semi-final, which absolutely was the stronger of the two semi-finals this year, if you ask me. Maybe you agree with me. I thought so many of the performances were a lot more standout, a lot more enjoyable, a lot more polished. Anyway, let me go through them right now. I have my notes in front of me. I haven't written down a great deal, but yes, I'm just going to go through these one by one. So we begin with Bangaranga by Dara for the returning Bulgaria. This was very interesting indeed, and Dara was looking fabulous, vocally not too bad, I guess, and she had dancers with her, and at the start they were wearing these masks with smeared clown-like makeup all over them, and I don't really know what that was all about. It looked a bit weird. I wasn't really a fan, but did it ruin the whole performance for me? Absolutely not. The whole thing really came together very nicely. To be honest, it was all about the choreography. It reminded me a little bit of Unicorn for Israel a couple of years ago, I'm not going to lie. But Dara was really going for this, and she was working the camera very well, lots of facial expressions and things like that. We were in some sort of waiting room at the start. There was a clock on the wall. It would be a nice touch if the clock was actually showing the correct time. Maybe that would be a nice thing for the final. But then that all disappeared, and the choreography really ramped up, and the crowd were really fired up for this as well. It was a job well done. No surprise there in the final. Song 2 was Azerbaijan Jiva Just Go. We all knew that this was probably going to miss out, so it came to be. Azerbaijan's poor record at Eurovision over the past 5 years or so continues. She sang quite well. Black and red outfit, man on stage, all in black, hat, sort of holding on to these ribbons attached to Jiva's back at one point. Not a whole lot else going on. It really was over in a flash, fairly forgettable, and I really don't know what's happened to Azerbaijan at Eurovision, because once upon a time they were a powerhouse, but now they cannot buy a place in the final, it would seem, and who knows what they will bring to the table in 2027. Then we move on to Romania, another returning country here. Alexandra Capitanescu with Choke Me. Really, really good. Very theatrical, I would say. Almost like, a play on stage for 3 minutes. It was really quite impressive. Some quick camera cuts. You had that woman all in white on stage. You had her troupe all around her. You had the white tubes of electricity coming out of the tops of the electric guitars attached to Alexandra herself. She sounded pretty good. There was a lot of confidence on display. And yeah, this is just a really solid rock-type number. I'm glad it's in the final. We move on to Luxembourg. Their qualification streak is over. This was Ava Maria with Mother Nature. I have conflicted feelings about this one. I've written here Pixie, because Ava Maria had this sort of fairy, pixie-like look about her. Very beautiful. I did sort of criticise her outfit when I saw the rehearsal footage. In previous videos I brought that up. Actually, she didn't look bad at all. Everything about this was very nice, very simple. Some of the on-screen effects, maybe they overdid it a bit, I don't know. Her voice was very lovely as well, particularly in the chorus I've written here. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then she had the violin, and we had this sort of Celtic whiff to proceedings. Yeah, really, really nicely done. But once it was over, I just thought, who's going to feel compelled to vote for it? Even if the jury went big, the public just aren't going to be on the same page. So Luxembourg missing out is not really a shock. It's a great shame. And I will be interested to hear future music from her, because she's pretty great. Then we have Czechia. Oh man, this was just a slice of fabulous. Daniel Žižka with Crossroads. Vocally, absolutely one of the best this year. And I talk about performances being atmospheric all the time. This really was creating such an atmosphere on stage. He was casually dressed in this blue attire, and they were working with mirrors and lighting a lot. And that's really difficult because when you've got mirrors on stage, there are obviously reflections, and you might see the cameraman in shot. But I think they did a really top-notch job here, and that last 30 seconds or so when the performance opened up to the audience and to us viewers at home, that was really nicely done. Yeah, if this is not getting a huge jury score on Saturday night, I would be really surprised, and I sincerely hope the public do not give Daniel nothing, because that would be an absolute disgrace. But we all remember what happened with Switzerland last year, don't we? Then we had Armenia. This is out. Simon, Paloma Rumba. So this was very energetic, a little bit too chaotic for its own good. He was wearing that jacket and the trousers with post-it notes all over them. He had dancers with him. They were in this lift at the start. And then they were just sort of thrashing themselves about for 3 minutes, which does mirror the high-energy feel of this track as a whole. What else have I written here? A little messy, vocally and in terms of the staging. There was no substance. Yeah, once it was over, I thought, do I really want to watch that again anytime soon? No. Whereas when I watched Bulgaria, I thought, I'd like to watch that back sooner rather than later. Maybe that's just me. But Armenia not qualifying is not really a shock. Had this been in semi-final one, might have been a different story. Then we have Switzerland. What a shame. Host nation last year, winner 2 years ago, and this time around they're not even going to be in the Saturday Showdown. This was Veronica Fusaro with Alice. Yeah, I watched this, I enjoyed it, and I thought, again, who is going to feel compelled to vote for this, even if the jury score is half decent? The public are not going to dish out a lot of points here. They're really, really not. I think we could be in with a surprise of sorts on Sunday when the full semi-final results are revealed, because I think we are going to see some shockingly low scores, particularly in the public half of the results. So Veronica, black outfit, sang lovely. She had the guitar. She had somewhat scantily clad dancers with her. I'm not really sure why they were wearing those outfits, but it is what it is. And you had those frames on stage and the red ropes and the green lighting. And as I've said previously, this was staged in a way that I didn't really expect at all. Did it really work? I guess, but it wasn't quite hitting top gear, if you see what I mean. Anyway, Switzerland are gone, which is a real shame. Simple as that. Then you had Cyprus. Oh, crikey. Vocally, I felt really bad for her because I think she was really struggling at times in this performance, and it sounded as though she was out of time with the music at one point, and maybe she forgot the lyrics a little bit. It sounded like that. This was Antigone with Jala. Fan favourite. It somehow got over the line. This looks like it could be the fan flop of the year because I can't see this doing incredibly well in the final. There was that big table on stage, dancers. If she sounded as good as she looked, then we would probably be saying that this is a serious contender for the win. However, the only thing in a way that is really letting Cyprus down this year is her voice. I'm not a professional singer, but I know she did not sound that fabulous. And I don't know how she sounded in the jury show, but maybe the public love was just enough to get this over the line. What else have we got to say about that? Not much. We move on to Latvia. Bit of a shame, this one. Their 2-year qualification streak, aiming to make it 3. It's all over and done with. At Varra with Enna, very similar to the national final performance. The on-screen glass effect, maybe a little bit overdone at times, looking like TV static a little bit. But she looked fabulous, black dress with sparkles all over the top of it. She was really feeling it, sounded great, super simplistic. Again, I watched it, appreciated it, and I thought to myself, who is going to feel compelled enough to vote for this? In big numbers. Maybe not a lot of people. Then it's Denmark. Soren Torpegaard Lund, Før vi går hjem, song 10. So this was very good. Very similar to the DMGP performance. Maybe not quite as exceptional, but still very polished. The choreography very slick. He was really going for this. You could really tell that he wanted that spot in the final. He was wearing that mesh top, black trousers, dancers with him, all sort of thrusting themselves about at various points. in the box, which lit up at various points, a sort of hazy atmosphere on stage, and then it turns more fiery in the final third. You know what I'm on about. Really, really good. I don't think this is winning, but it should be up there getting a lot of love on Saturday night. And vocally, he wasn't too bad either, in my opinion. Then we had Australia, Delta Goodrem, Eclipse. People were raving about this. Okay, fine. It was good. It was really, really nice. Delta is such a good performer, very experienced, vocally solid. And you had that moon structure on stage, which reflected on the stage floor. That was quite a nice effect. Smoke machine kicking in, bit of a wind machine as well, if I remember correctly. And she's in this gold dress. And then she moves forward, and there's this piano, which she's clearly not playing live. That did look a little bit awkward, but fair enough. And then there's this rising podium and pyro everywhere. Not a lot of countries are using pyro this year. Maybe they just don't have the budget. But anyway, it was very Lazare France 2023. And if we're talking about groundbreaking staging, Australia do not have it, because we've seen elevated platforms tons of times in the history of Eurovision. However, saying that, because I do sound a little bit critical here, it is clearly in it to win it. Australia, I think, now are I think they're the third favourites to win, but they will be second favourites to win, probably by this time tomorrow. So, yeah, they're in it to win it, and they probably won the jury vote. In my opinion, it's a relatively safe song. It's an inoffensive song. If it won, fine by me. We move on to Ukraine. They turned up, they're in the final. It's Leleka with Ridnim. This probably won the semi-final. Nobody's really talking about this track. It's very beautiful. There's that big note that she held. There's the billowing fabric behind her. There's a guy off to one side pretending to play an instrument. It's all very nice. And this is probably going to finish in the top 10. I don't think it's one of Ukraine's best. I don't think it's one of their most memorable in recent years. But Zifferblatt won their semi-final last year, so if they can, this probably won the second semi-final a short time ago. It's not one of my favourites, but I do appreciate it, and she performed it quite confidently. That little bit of black makeup on her face as well. Yeah, lovely. We move on to Albania, song 13, Alice Nan. Again, not one of my big favourites here, but man, can this man sing. Subtitles on screen. Lithuania had subtitles for all of, 20 seconds? Albania throughout. Smoke machine, very dark, very intense. He was really, really feeling it, looking a little bit like Neo from The Matrix. Woman appears on stage. I don't know if that's his real mother or not, but a woman appears on stage, and then he's got a watch in his hand, and everything about this is just looking and sounding really nice. Again, I can appreciate it, even if it's not one of my big favourites. The jury score probably quite nice. Public score not too shabby. This will do all right for itself in the final. We move on to Malta, Aiden, Bella, song 14. I barely remember this. You've got those light-up arches all around him, the roses effect as well. He's in that black outfit. The camera is whizzing around him, slowly but surely too. It's a beautiful ballad. The public score in the final could be a shocker. It could be a shocker. 0 points, that would be incredibly harsh, but would we be surprised if that happened? Probably not. The jury score, on the other hand, could be half decent here, absolutely. So we could have a fairly lopsided thing going on with Malta on Saturday night. I have little else to say about it. I think it was a performance that should have stood out more than it did, actually. And then we have Norway, song 15. Similar story here. Jonas Love, yeah. Very charismatic figure, all the tattoos. There's a real swagger to him. Vocally, he was very, very good, but those high notes, maybe not quite hitting them, but let's not be too critical here. He did a smashing job overall. Visually, it's okay. This is trying to be cutting edge. I don't think it's quite hitting top gear. Still, not bad. Bit of pyro, liked the ending, don't really like the key change, but it is what it is. On the whole, job well done. And Norway, I don't think they were comfortable qualifiers, but nevertheless, their good qualification streak continues. Let me know your thoughts. Now, the grand final. We don't have the running order yet. Usually, I film that video and we have the running order. So what I'm going to do is, well, first things first, I will say that I will film a reaction video to the running order tomorrow, all being well. That will be a fairly short video, but it will surface. For now, though, let's go through the finalists, and I'm just going to go through these based on the semi-finals and everything, and I'll leave the automatic finalists until the end, and then I will go through my prediction, and by Jove, it's rough. Do not take it seriously. So, Moldova, Viva Moldova Satoshi, is this the public vote winner on Saturday night? Would not be surprised. Lively atmosphere, colourful. The camera's shaking around them for most of this performance. There's some smoke. I don't know if there's a bit of pyro, can't quite remember. The crowd is absolutely going nuts for this, and the energy is on full display. He's wearing that blue top with the number on the front. Aliona Moon is on stage as well. You've got a beautiful blonde woman on stage too, the drummer. Everybody's having a really good time. The rowdy atmosphere is very evident, and Moldova just know what they're doing sometimes when it comes to Eurovision. They know how to get the public on board. This is not going to be a big jury favourite, but do not be shocked if this finishes above Finland, above Greece, above other big hitters this year in the public half of the results on Saturday night, especially if they get a cushy slot in the grand final running order. Then we have Sweden, Felicia, My System. This is not winning now. I didn't really think it was going to win anyway. It was always in with a shot of maybe getting over the line, but now I think the momentum is very much elsewhere. Felicia sounds good. Apparently she's been unwell the past couple of days. We wait and see how she sounds on Saturday night. This is a really good sort of throbbing pop number. The lasers, it's all very effective. That moment when she reaches out from the screen behind her, that's really good as well. I enjoyed this performance very much on Tuesday night. I think the public score is going to be just okay. The jury score is probably going to be pretty decent, maybe, 100, 150 points, maybe even slightly more than that, we never know. But, yeah, Sweden probably going to finish in the top 10, but certainly not challenging for the win now. It's not an unpopular song, I just think attention is very much elsewhere. Then we have Croatia, Lelik, Andromeda. This is fantastic. Thought the performance on Tuesday night was arguably the best of the first semi-final. Vocally, fine. Maybe not quite as powerful as it needs to be, but this is a fairly minor thing. We've got flames, we've got a smoke machine, you've got those symbols all over their bodies. They're wearing capes, and it's all fairly dramatic and intense and powerful and stirring and rousing, and any other synonym you want to use, it's very much like that. And Croatia should be very proud of this entry. In a realistic world, shall we say, this should be, maybe top 6 in the final, but that's not really going to happen, I don't think. However, this is a true return to form for Croatia. After Poison Cake last year, this is far, far stronger, and evidence that Croatia can do the business on the Eurovision stage. Greece, Akilas, Ferto, is this going to win? I'm not so sure. The public score will be pretty darn massive. The jury score, it's going to be a different story altogether. I keep talking about the vocals. Do they really matter that much? I'm not so sure. But vocally, he's obviously not one of the best. But the staging is quite innovative. He's moving through those different rooms, trying to tell the story of the song. You've got that very tender moment towards the end when he takes off the glasses. You've got the English lyrics on the backdrop behind him, and he's on top of the box that he was in a minute ago. And then he's on a scooter at one point as well. I forgot that. The computer game type imagery too, which we saw in the music video. It's all good, it's all enjoyable, and it's a real crowd pleaser. However, this is the sort of song that I can see maybe winning, and then a lot of people are very unhappy, even though before Eurovision they were saying how great a song this is, how wonderful, blah, blah, blah. It's the sort of thing that I can see happening. Anyway, that's Greece. Don't have much else to say about it. I enjoy it. It could be our winner. Finland absolutely could be our winner also. This is Linda Lampenius Peter Parkkonen and Lia Kinhayden. She's playing the violin live. The staging is very similar to what we had at UMK. He's giving smouldering looks for 3 minutes. She's obviously playing the violin, strutting down the catwalk looking like $1,000,000. You've got the bits of fire flinging down behind her, and then you've got the confessional booth type prop on stage, and there's flames all around that, and then there's some really good camera trickery as Linda and Petter dash back onto the main stage and everything's going up in flames around them. The drama, the theatrics of it all, it's so impressive. It's such a great song. It seems to be doing well in terms of streaming numbers as well, not that that's a huge indication as to what's going to happen in a Eurovision Grand Final. Lia Kinhayden, Flamethrower, it's my favourite of the year. It could absolutely be the winner. And if you believe the betting odds, and the betting odds were right for that very difficult-to-predict semi-final too, I might add, then Finland are not just winning, they're winning fairly comfortably. Israel could win. This is Noam Betan with Michelle. We know about the staging. There's that diamond. It's all very reflective. He's got dancers in half white, half burgundy outfits. He's all dressed in black. He sounds okay. The song is fine. We know what is damn well going to happen on Saturday night. If this was 10 years ago, this song would probably be in the final, probably finishing in mid-table. However, 2026, the circumstances that we're all familiar with, this is going to challenge for the win. It could be Israel and Finland on the split screen. Absolutely. Absolutely it could. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I don't think it stands out that much. I really don't. I'm not just saying that to be a hater. I really don't think this stands out that much. And neither does the next song I'm going to talk about, which is Esila Dancing on the Ice by Belgium. Surprise qualifier on Tuesday night. Great to see Belgium back in the final. How on earth did Musty not qualify? Red Sebastian didn't qualify, but Esila does, with a song that doesn't really have any staging to speak of. White outfit, dancers dressed in white, half orange, half icy blue looking visuals. She sounds okay. Things are maybe a little bit awkward. There's a tiny bit of choreography at times. This is going to struggle. Can't see a lot of love going this song's way. The same can be said for Lithuania, Lion Seeker, Solo Quiero Mas. He's looking like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. There's some sort of story happening on stage. You've got a bit of subtitles at one point, but then they disappear. I can't remember them being there for too long. There's another figure on stage. I really barely remember this. I'm sorry. And also it's very late at night. But I barely remember this. And apart from a couple of diaspora votes, the UK will vote for this. I'm telling you right now. Ireland, if they were taking part, would absolutely vote for this as well. So there will be a little bit of love, but we're not talking 12 points, 12 points, 12 points. We're talking 2 points here, 3 points there, 4 points there. They all add up, yes, but I think Lithuania probably not going to do exceptionally well this year. Poland, Alicia Prey, finally getting her chance on the Eurovision stage. Vocally, one of the best this year. There's that slanted platform. She's got dancers, white and black outfits. They're throwing themselves about for a little bit. And she is looking really fabulous as well. That sort of silver breastplate thing, black trousers. A sort of diva-ish figure, these vocal runs that she goes on. Yeah, it's impressive. The song is just a massive letdown in my opinion, but they are giving themselves a pretty good chance of doing fairly well on Saturday night because the staging is really tight. They had a vision, they're executing it quite well, fair play. Then we have Serbia, Lavina, Crimene. The Balkan nations in particular will go big for this. Obviously, it's this sort of slow burn song, and then it becomes very... aggressive is the wrong word, but it becomes very in your face, and I use that word intense. It absolutely is intense in the final third. We've got shaky camera effects, bit of pyro, there's a smoke machine. You've got the mic stand, which is stuck in a rock, and it's a sword. Yeah, everything about this is nicely done. Certainly a big public score could be coming Serbia's way, but... the jury score could be a slightly different story. And it's a year where we do have some real big hitters, and I don't think Serbia are quite in that group. But you never know. You never know. I don't mind it. I've gone through the semi-final 2 songs. Bangaranga, all I'll say about that is the staging's pretty impressive. Again, they had a vision, they executed it. It's really good stuff because the Bulgarian national final performance, there was nothing to speak of. It was a little bit, all over the shop. But now, quite tight. I like Dara, I like her energy. I think she's really fired up for this. She's going to give it her absolute all on Saturday night. I think she's going to pour much of her effort into the public performance on Saturday night rather than the jury performance perhaps tomorrow night. We'll wait and see. Yeah. I have nothing else to say about this, as you can clearly tell. Romania, again, I think this is going to be more of a public favourite than a jury favourite, but I don't think the jury will be massively dismissive of this. Certainly, I can see near 200 points for Romania from the public in the grand final. That's a very strong possibility. But this could also just fall to one side a little bit, especially if Romania are on fairly early in the running order, perhaps. Czechia, there is absolutely no way that song should be being completely ignored by the viewers on Saturday night. It's too good. It's a really fine ballad. Okay, it doesn't have too much of a structure, and it just meanders along, and it ends quite abruptly with some heavy breathing. But this is so good. I was so impressed. And it's a simply staged performance, done very well, vocally sublime. I would be really shocked if the juries did not go big for it in this second semi-final, and I would be also quite astonished if the jury score on Saturday night is not that good. Cyprus, this is going to struggle. I cannot see any situation in which this song is right up there getting a lot of love now. 12 points from Greece, that might be the only 12 points they get. I like her. I like the song, bringing those hot, summery vibes, get up on the table, have a drink, have a dance, wonderful. But vocally, she is just letting the whole thing down. What a shame. Denmark, slick. Choreography, great. Surely going to do very well. What a return to form. And it's in Danish. It's the first time a song entirely in Danish, I believe, is in the final this century, which is fantastic. Australia, in it to win it. Very effortlessly done. I have nothing else to say about it. Ukraine, hello, we're here. 200 points. Albania, yeah, this is a dark horse for the top 10. Won't be disgraced at all. It's very powerful. A lot of people will enjoy it for what it is and understand it, you know, because of the subtitles, certainly. Malta, relying on jury love alone. I really think so. And then Norway, yeah, hopefully it's going to be slightly tighter on Saturday night. Turn those screws up, if you see what I mean. Tighten them up, and hopefully everything will come together very nicely. It's already working fairly well, but it just needs to cross the line into the, you know, it needs to go up a gear. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. And then we have the automatic finalists. I've not really spoken about these too much. We have Austria. Saw that performance in the second semi-final. Way better than what they had at the rather naff Austrian national selection a long time ago. I don't mind the song. Tanzschein by Cosmo, of course. You've got dancers on stage with these metallic-like helmets. There's also some sort of climbing frames as well. You've got some strobe effects and very colourful lighting towards the end. The crowd obviously really appreciating this because it's the home nation's entry. We know this is closing the final. I just can't see a lot of love going this song's way. If anything, it's a little bit flat. It's good, but it's a little bit flat. And as a show closer, I don't know. I think viewers at home would want something stronger. But, you know, it was decided at random that Austria would close the grand final this year. Fair enough. Then we have Germany. So this is a woman with dancers. Sarah Engels, fire. There is fire. There's red lighting. There's a box on stage, if I remember correctly. She sounds pretty good. She's a fairly fierce performer. That's nice to see. Some confidence on display. She's wearing this sort of feathery outfit at first, and then that disappears, and she's wearing a more golden look. There's a lot of bum on display, I think it's fair to say, in this performance. A hell of a lot of ass cheek. And they're doing a really good job, actually, because they're sort of staging this in such a way where it looks as though the stage has more depth. You'll know what I'm on about if you saw the performance the other night. Yeah, this is good. It's a really safe, accessible pop song, but I think we're all expecting it to struggle. Then you have France. France are in it to win it. If anybody is ruling out France, it's time to think again, because, okay, the juries... It's a bit of a jury-based song, to say the least. This is going to do so well in the jury vote. 17 years of age, Monroe, Regard. Her voice, singing like that on a big stage, very, very impressive. And she looked so confident. Didn't seem to have any nerves whatsoever. Really very impressive indeed. As for the public score, could be a different story. We have seen France struggle with the public in recent years. Lazare did not do that well. Madame Monsieur did not do that well. Bilal Hassani, was that his name? Roy in 2019 did not do that well. Last year, Rouen did not do that well. Alvan and Hez did not do that well. But Slimane did, with a fairly simplistic track, it has to be said. And Barbara Pravi did, with a fairly simplistic track. So, who knows what the public are going to do with France this year. Certainly, a much higher jury score is almost a given. She moves forwards with the group of people she has on stage with her. There's not much happening. Smoke Machine, which was maybe a bit overdone in the second semi-final showcase performance, but that big note, it feels like a winning moment. Would it be a popular winner? No, it would not. But could this win? Yes, I think so. And then you've got Italy, Sal da Vinci per sempre sì. So this guy just oozes class and charisma. He's not doing a whole lot. He's in this white suit. Everything is happening behind him. They're telling the story of a wedding from start to finish. The groom is getting ready. He's got dancers with him. I think maybe there's a little bit too much dancing, truth be told, but this is a really, really minor thing. Like I said, they are telling a story of this wedding on stage. And then the bride turns up. She looks fantastic. She kisses the groom. The Italian flag is there all of a sudden, and everybody's having a little dance, and it's just really nice. It's a really nice, relaxing song to listen to. It really, really is. And I have to say, this could go either way. Italy might get their worst result for years, or they could be in the top 10 again. I really think this is going to do all right for itself in the final. And then you've got the United Kingdom. Look, Mum, no computer. 1, 2, 3. So we are going all out with the staging, trying to recreate the music video a little bit. He's got his own equipment on stage. He's pressing random buttons. You've got dancers in boiler suits, green boiler suits, with these furry computer screens on their heads, and he's in a pink boiler suit, and he's really interacting with the camera. He's doing a very good job there, I would say. It's a very cheeky, playful performance overall. However, it's a little bit cringy when he tries to get the crowd involved. I'm not sure about that. Never really been a fan of that with any performance in the history of the contest. And he's doing it. And I just don't know. People will find this a bit funny, but not funny. Oh, yeah, really cool. They're probably going to think funny but cringy. Oh, no, not for me. I'm not going to vote for it. Honestly, a double 0 points could really, really happen again. It happened with James Newman. I think it could happen again for the UK on Saturday night. It would be devastating, but so many of us are expecting it, I'm afraid. There's been so little promotion of this track in the UK, it's unbelievable. You open a British newspaper this week, Boy George, and Delta Goodrem. Look, Mum, no computer. Look, Mum, nowhere to be damn well found. It's more likely. It might be a different story in the papers tomorrow and on Saturday and on Sunday if we get a double 0 points, and on Monday as well, I suppose. I wish him well, but this is going to struggle massively. It's got last place stamped all over it, I'm afraid to say. With that being said, it's now time to go through my exceptionally rough prediction for the results. I cannot emphasise this enough. Do not take it seriously. If you are upset with me at where I have placed your favourite country, does it matter? Not really. What matters is what's going to happen on Saturday night. So let me go through this. Once again, I have judged each song out of 100 in various categories. Vocals, staging, the betting odds as of a short time ago, stage presence, confidence, are they owning the performance, momentum, that is key. So, for example, a country like Moldova has a hell of a lot of momentum. How I think the jury are going to vote, how I think the public are going to vote, me ignoring everything and just ranking them bottom to top, top to bottom, working out the average. I can tell you that in 2021, I predicted Italy to win. In 2022, Ukraine to win. 2023, Sweden to win. 2024, Switzerland to win. 2025, France to win, but tied with Austria. This year, well, let's find out, shall we? 25th place, a score of 62, Austria. It's going to be one of those instances, I think, where the host nation, unfortunately, falls flat on its face. Austria were joint last in Vienna, in that venue, the Wiener Stadthalle in 2015. I think it's going to happen again this year, I'm afraid to say. 24th place, 62.4, United Kingdom. It looks so likely. 23rd place, 63.4, Belgium. Not sure many points are going to go this song's way. It's nice, I like it, but I think it's going to struggle. 22nd place, 66, Lithuania. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Maybe the juries really liked it, but maybe they didn't. 21st place, 66.1, could be lower, Germany. Bit of a step back for the Germans this year after a pretty good entry last year and a good result the year before that. But yeah, Germany going to struggle. 20th place, 68.1, Cyprus. Can't believe I'm saying that because a couple of weeks ago, Cyprus top 10. Now, not so sure. This could do really quite well in the public vote, but there's a lot that's just not working here, and other performances stand out and sound better. 19th place, 69.6, Poland. Going to do all right for itself in the jury vote at the very least. 18th place, 70, Norway. Could be higher, could be a bit lower, don't really know. 17th place, 72.1, Malta. Also 72.1, but I think this country will finish higher. 16th place, Serbia. Could finish a hell of a lot higher than that, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. Do not take it too seriously. 15th place, 73.3, Albania. His voice and that atmosphere and the intensity, yeah, not too bad. 14th place, this is bound to be higher, but again, I'm just reading how it turned out. 75.3, Moldova. Big public score. Big public score. Jury score, maybe not so great. In the end, mid-table, maybe. 13th place, 75.9, Italy. Again, could be higher. Don't think it'll be lower. 12th, 76, Croatia. Would like it to be higher. 11th place, 76 also, Ukraine. Yes, I've predicted Ukraine to miss out on the top 10. What an idiot, because this is bound to finish a bit higher. They only have to turn up. How many times do I say it? It's not one of my favourites, but I can understand why the votes may pour in. 10th place, 77, Bulgaria. Yeah, going to do fairly well, I'm sure. 9th place, 77.6, Sweden. I think they'll take that because momentum has definitely gone in many other countries' direction now. 8th place, 78, Israel. We know it's going to be probably higher than this. We know this is probably the public vote winner. So 8th place, take it with a pinch of salt. It's bound to be a bit higher. 7th place, 78.8, Czechia. That semi-final performance last night, well, a few hours ago, really impressed me. And honestly, it damn well should be finishing in 7th place, if not higher. But this is very much reliant on two things. 1, the public score being not too bad. 2, the jury score being very impressive. If those two things don't happen, Czechia will be way down. And usually, a country I predict in the top 10 does finish absolutely nowhere, so it could be Czechia. But I will be fuming if that damn well happens. 6th place, and I think this could happen, 81.1 for Romania. Yeah, that could happen. 5th place, oh, now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. 82.3, Greece. Yeah, that's a good result. 5th place. Greece are going for the win. It could happen, but I've got them in 5th place. 4th, 83.9, France. 3rd, 84.4, Denmark. Maybe flying under the radar just a little bit, but definitely will be up there. That leaves 2 countries, Australia and Finland. In 2nd place, 87.6, Australia, who I have predicted to win the jury vote, which means I have predicted, and this could be wrong, of course it could be wrong, it doesn't matter, 89.8, Finland to win the Eurovision Song Contest 2026. The staging is pretty good. The betting odds are very heavily in their favour. May the odds be ever in your favour. They've got pretty decent stage presence. There is momentum with this song. I think the juries are going to like it. I think the public are going to like it. And hopefully, as it's my favourite of the year, they will get over the line. But if it doesn't happen, if Australia win, great. Denmark win, great. France win, Paris 2027, lovely. That is my prediction. Now, good Lord, I'm shattered. The next video you see from me, all being well, will be that grand final running order reaction, but I may see it briefly before I go to bed. That's entirely possible. Nevertheless, I intend to film the video anyway tomorrow. At 8:45 a.m, tomorrow morning, 15th of May, UK time, 8:45 a.m, I will be speaking, all being well, on my local radio station, BBC Radio Northampton, about Eurovision this year. When I have a link, I will share it on my social media pages. Should say, I think I might have said this at the start, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. That is it. I will be back with another video fairly soon. Please, just accept my opinions for what they are, and I will accept yours. And let's have a good discussion in the comments section, perhaps. roll on the grand final. It's going to be a shite show. There's going to be so many 0 points. It's unbelievable. I can really see that happening. I really, really can. Eurovision is harsh, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's a bit of a game. And we'll wait and see what happens in 2 days' time. Just before I go, we should know... we don't, but very soon we should know who is going to be in what half. So, yeah, you know, we'll know the semi-final 2 participants, whether they're in the first half, second half, or producer's choice. They don't need that, but they've got it anyway. Who's going to open the final? Maybe Belgium. Maybe Cyprus. Maybe Norway again. Maybe Romania. Maybe Germany. Maybe the UK. I think it'll be one of those. Who will be song 2? Belgium? Could be Israel. Could be Malta. Or they could do the double up-tempo, which I've mentioned before, where song 1 is up-tempo, song 2 is up-tempo, song 3 is the first ballad. So it could be somebody like Belgium opening, Norway song 2, and then maybe somebody like Malta song 3. I don't know. It's not a bad final. I'm going to shut up now. I am so drained. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much for the support lately. It means a great deal. And I will be back before you know it. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.